Hi also, welcome back to my channel, Blended Concepts. Hope you're all doing good. So as you have seen my information from thumbnail, so this video is all about sharing you the information on 8086 bits part 2. So those who are watching the video for the first time, try to watch my part 1 video and try to come back here so that it would be easy for you to continue with the flow. So if you haven't watched, I'll be linking in the I-bar or else in the description box so that you can access from there. And one more thing, most of the people are asking me to make a video on 8085 also, but for timing I'm not preparing the video on 8085. So if you need it, I'll be making after some days, but don't expect in between the examination date. So try to work on with 8086 so it would be easy and compatible for you. So whatever parts I have shared till now, so it will be okay for the examination point of view, so that all the concepts will be covered for the examination point of view. So what are you waiting for? So get started. So as discussed, so this video is all about bits on 8086 part number 2. So now let's get started. Bit number 56. The pin BHE is low for dash acknowledge cycles. So basically the pin BHE is for low for read, write and interrupt acknowledge cycles. Bit number 57. Dash flag is used by string manipulation instructions. So the answer will be direction flag. Bit number 58. The 8086 processor bus cycles consist of dash clock cycles. So the answer will be 4. So the bus cycles of 8086 will be consisting of 4 clock cycles. Bit number 59. In 8086, the reset signal must be high for at least dash cycles. So the answer will be 4. So only if the reset cycle is high for 4 cycles, then only the microprocessor will get reset, or else it will not get reset. Bit number 60. When the processor is in minimum mode and wants to enter the HAL state, it issues dash pulse but does not issue any control signal. The answer will be ALE pulse. Address latch enable. Bit number 61. When the processor is in minimum mode and wants to enter the HAL state, it puts the HAL status on dash. So basically if the microprocessor is in the minimum mode and it wants to enter the HAL state, so it will put the HAL status on the bits of S2, S1 and S0. So basically S2, S1, S0 are the status pins, so which will be helping us to know like whether the microprocessor is in HAL state or is in resume state. So if you want to enter the HAL state, you must depend upon these status bits like S2, S1 and S0. Bit number 62. Dash can force 8086 to come out of HAL state. So the answer will be interrupt request. So only an interrupt request or reset also can able to force the 8086 to come out of the HAL state. Bit number 63. For the test signal to be accepted, it must be low for at least dash clock cycles. So the answer will be 5 clock cycles. So for the test signal, in order to be accepted, it has to be low, it has to be 0 for at least 5 clock cycles. Bit number 64. When CPU executes a wait instruction, the CPU waits for dash input pin to go low. So the answer will be test. So whenever the test signal is low for 5 cycles, then only CPU executes the wait instruction. So always remember there will be a bar on top of test signal. So basically test and wait signal will be having interlinkage. So they are having dependency on both of them. So try to make a note of them. Bit number 65. 8086 has dash multiplexed address data bus and dash multiplexed address status bus. So basically 8086 microprocessor, it is having combination of both address bus as well as address status bus. Like the combination of both address status lines and the combination of both address data lines. So the answer will be, it is having multiplexed 16-bit address data bus and it is having 4-bit address status bars. So what does it mean is, so let's take an example like 80, 81, 82, 83 until 80 to 8015, it is having multiplexed address data bus. So while coming to the address status lines, it is having from only 4 ones, like only 4 number of address status lines and 16 number of address data lines. So bus is nothing but wires, so don't think any of them. So bus means piece of wire or lines. Bit number 66. The microprocessor 8086 is operated in minimum mode by strapping the MN hash MX bar to dash. So basically there are two operating modes of microprocessor. So one is maximum mode and other is minimum mode. So if you want to make the microprocessor to be in the minimum mode, so the particular signal MN bar, like MN and MN MX bar, so it has to be 1. So don't get confused over here. I'll be telling you a short trick here. So see here, mn hash mx bar. So there will be a bar on particular mx. So if it is 1, it will be 0. So minimum bar will be 1. So mx bar will be 0. So if the minimum bar is 1, then the microprocessor will be in the minimum mode. Bit number 67. The latches used for 8086 are generally dash. So they are asking what kind of latches will be used for 8086. So basically we will be using buffered output D-type flip-flops latches for 8086. So some of the examples of latches are 74LS373 or 8282 latches. So which we'll be using for 8086. So which are buffered output D-type flip-flops. Bit number 68. 8086 hash dash address lines dash data lines requires dash octal address latches dash octal data buffers. So basically 8086 is having 20 address lines and 16 data lines. So this is one of the most important bit. It is having 20 address lines and 16 data lines, and it will be consisting of 3 octal address latches and 2 octal data buffers. So data buffers, it will be of octal type, it will be of number 2, and it will be consisting of 3 address octal latches, so which will be of 3 in number. Bit number 69. Dash bit indicates whether the instruction is to operate over 8-bit or 16-bit data operands. So the answer will be W bit. So there are some bit-like structures in 8086, so which will be giving the information of all operands. So if you want to make the instruction to be operated over 8-bit or 16-bit, so you can check the information of W bit. Bit number 70. Dash bit is used in the case of double operand instruction. So the answer will be D bit. Bit number 71. Dash bit is called sign extension bit. The answer will be S bit. So the answer is there in the question itself. Bit number 72. Dash bit is used in the case of shift and rotate instructions. So this bit is important. So the answer will be V bit. So V bit is used in the case of shift and rotate instructions. Bit number 73. Dash bit is used by the rep instruction to control the loop. So the answer will be Z bit. So rep is nothing but repeat. Bit number 74. Dash is the default data segment when data is referred to be as an operand. So the answer will be DS segment. So DS stands for data segment. Bit number 75. Dash is the default code segment for storing program code. So the answer will be CS, nothing but code segment. So program codes will be stored in the code segment register, whereas the data will be stored in the data segment registers. Bit number 76. Dash is the default segment register for the stack data accesses and operations. So the answer will be stack segment. So make a note of it. If there is any operation or if there is anything like push, pop or pull like things, always the operation will be on stack segment only. So stack, like push, pop, all these things will be depending upon the stack segment only. Like it will be depending upon stack only. So whenever there is any stack operation or stack access operation, so the answer will be always stack segment. Bit number 77. Dash is the default segment register for destination data storage. So the answer will be ES. So ES stands for extra segment register. Bit number 78. In dash type of addressing mode, immediate data is part of instruction and appears in the form of successive bytes. So the answer will be immediate addressing modes. So the bits on addressing modes is also very important. So don't try to get confused. Try to read the bit slowly and try to understand so that you will get the answer from the question itself. Bit like for example, I have given the example over here. So here I am moving the hexadecimal value 0006H. So whenever there is any H at the end of the value, it denotes as hexadecimal data. So here 0006H is an immediate data, so which I am moving on to the AX register. So this is nothing but immediate data. So here immediate data is part of my instruction. So that's the reason it has become the immediate addressing mode. Bit number 79. In dash addressing mode, a 16-bit memory address or an input-output address is directly specified in the instruction. So the answer will be direct addressing mode. So direct addressing mode is nothing but the address will be directly intimated in the instruction. So let's check the example. So move AX 5000H. So whenever any value is terminated with the help of square brackets, it means its memory location or address. So here what I'm doing is whatever data is there in the address location, in the memory location 500H, that particular data I'm moving on to the AX register. So that is why it is called direct addressing mode. So in examination point of view, they will give an instruction and they will try to give you, like, make you a guess like which type of addressing mode it is. So try to check the question properly and try to answer. Don't get quickly over there. Bit number 80. In dash addressing mode, the data is stored in a register and is referred using the particular register. So the answer will be register addressing mode. So the question is direct itself. So the example will be move AX BX. Bit number 81. In dash addressing mode, the memory location which contains the data or operand is determined in an indirect way using the offset registers. So the answer will be register indirect addressing mode. So in this particular register indirect addressing mode, the memory location which contains the data or any necessary thing, it will be determined in an indirect way. Instead of direct way, it will be determined indirect way. So let me show you an example here. Move AX BX. So here what I'm doing is whatever value is there in the address location of BX register, so that particular one I am moving on to the AX one. So this is what the register indirect addressing mode will be. Bit number 82. In dash addressing mode, the offset of operand is stored in one of the index register. So the answer will be index addressing mode. Bit number 82. In dash addressing mode, the offset of operand is stored in one of the index registers. So this bit is already repeated. The answer will be index registers. So for example, I have given move AX SI. So here the address of the operand is stored in the index register called SI. So that particular value what has been stored in the SI register, so that one I am moving on to the X register. So it is nothing but index addressing mode, where one of the offset address of the operand will be stored in the index registers. We will be having two index registers, SI and DI. SI stands for source index and DI stands for destination index. So make a note of it. Bit number 83. In dash addressing mode, the data is available at an effective address formed by adding an 8-bit or 16-bit displacement with the content of any one of the registers called BX, BP, SI or DI. So the answer will be register relative addressing mode. So in the register relative addressing mode, whatever data which is available, it will be formed by adding any of the 16-bit address with the any of the content registers called BX, BP, SI or DI. So let me show you an example. So here what I'm doing is I am adding the particular 8-bit or 16-bit displacement data like with the BX. So this is displacement data, 50H stands for displacement data, and this particular data I am adding with the content of registers like BX, 16-bit content of the registers, and whatever value is there by adding the address of 50H and BX, so that particular data which is stored in that particular address, that one I'm moving on to the X register. So try to make a note of it, so don't get confused over here. So study the question properly so that you will get the answer quickly and thoroughly. So don't get confused. Bit number 84. In case of string instructions, dash are the default segments for SI and DI respectively. So the answer will be DX and ES. So DS stands for data segment and ES stands for extra segment. So in the case of string instructions, both these particular registers are used for default segments. Bit number 85. Dash is the default segment for index registers SI and DI. So the answer will be DX. Data segment register is the default segment for index registers SI and DI. Bit number 86. In dash addressing mode, the data is formed by adding the content of base register either BX or BP to the content of an index register, any one of AS or DI. So the answer will be base index addressing mode. So in the case of based index addressing mode, the data what we want is formed by adding the content of base register like either BX or BP to the content of any of the SI or DI register. So let me show an example. So here the data what I want to form is formed by adding the content of BX address of BX register as well as the address of SI register. So whatever data is stored at the address when I added both BX and SI, so that particular data at that particular location I am moving on to the X register. So this is nothing but base index addressing mode. So try to read the question properly and answer it. Bit number 88. In dash addressing mode, the effective address is formed by adding an 8 or 16-bit displacement with the sum of contents of any one of the base registers BX or BP and any one of the index registers. So the answer will be relative based index addressing mode. So check here what we are doing is we are adding the displacement, and along with the displacement we are adding the contents of base register. So base is also formed and index registers, so index is also formed. So whenever in the question they are explaining about the displacement like 8-bit or 16-bit displacement, always relative comes into contact. So that's why the answer of this question will be relative based addressing mode. They are adding base address like base registers as well as index registers, as well as they are adding 8 or 16-bit displacement. So combination of both of them, three of them will be relative based index addressing mode. So the answer will be like, for example, move AX 50H BX and SI. So here the address of SI as well as address of base register and 50H are added, and the data which is formed at that particular location will be moved on to the registers of AX. Bit number 89. In dash mode, the address to which the control is transferred lies in the same segment in which the control transfer instruction lies. So the answer will be intra-segment direct mode. So whenever any data lies in the same segment, the answer will be intra. If there is in the other segment, it is called inter. So if it is in the same segment, it will be intra only. So bit number 90. In dash mode, the address to which the control is transferred lies in the different segment in which the control transfer instruction lies. So the answer will be inter-segment. Bit number 91. In dash mode, the displacement to which the control is transferred is in the same segment in which the control transfer lies, but it is passed as instruction directly. So the answer will be intra-segment indirect mode. So when you compare with the top of bits, there the address is being moved, the address is compared, but in the down bits the displacement is compared. So whenever the displacement is compared, it will be always the indirect mode. Bit number 92. In dash mode, the displacement to which the control is transferred is in the different segment but is passed as instruction directly. So the answer will be inter-segment indirect mode. Bit number 93. The dash data instruction transfers data from one register or memory location to the another register or memory location. So the answer will be move. So move is an instruction so which is used to move the data from one location or from one register to other register or from one location to another location. Bit number, like for example, move AX 5000H. So here I am moving the value 500 into register AX. Bit number 94. Dash instruction pushes the contents of specified register or memory location onto the stack. As I told you earlier, so whenever there is a particular thing on stack, you have to remember either push or pop. So when you are pushing, the answer will be push. When you are removing, the answer will be pop. Number 95. In 8086, the stack pointer is decremented by dash after each execution of instruction. So it is one of the most important bit. So whenever a stack pointer is like after any execution, like if the particular execution is executed, the stack pointer will be always decremented by 2 in 8086. Bit number 96. The stack pointer is incremented by dash when a pop operation happens in 8086. The answer will be 2. So whenever you are removing the data, the stack pointer will be incremented. So whenever you are executing the data, the stack pointer will be always decremented. Bit number 97. The dash instruction pops the content of specified register or memory location from the stack. So the answer will be pop. Pop is to remove, push is to pull, like push is to push the data onto the stack. Bit number 98. The dash instruction exchanges the contents of specified source and destination operands, which may be registers or any one of them may be address registers. Like the answer will be exchange. So exchange will be used to exchange the contents of specified operands or maybe any of the registers. Bit number 99. The dash instruction is used for reading an input port. The answer will be in. Bit number 100. The dash instruction is used to write to an output port. The answer will be out. So if you want to read the input port, the instruction will be in. If you want to write to the output port, the operation will be out. Instruction will be out. Bit number 101. The dash register can be changed directly using pop instruction. The answer will be SS, stack segment. Bit number 102. Which microprocessor accepts the program written for 8086 without any changes? The answer will be 8088 microprocessor. Bit number 103. Among all, which is one of the core processors for 8086? The answer will be 8087 or 8089. So in the options, if they have given any one of them, you can take any one of them. Like 8087 or 8089 is considered as core processor of 8086. Bit number 104. Which segment is used to store interrupt and subroutine return address registers? So the answer will be stack segment. So whenever any interrupt is occurred in the 8086 microprocessor, so at what instruction the 8086 executing, it will complete the execution of that particular instruction and it will store the address of next instruction onto the stack and it will move to the interrupt location. So that's the reason why the interrupt or subroutine address will be always stored in the stack segment. Bit number 105. Dash is sampled during the last clock cycle of each instruction to determine the availability of requests. So the answer will be INTR. So interrupt request is sampled during the last clock cycle in order to know whether any interrupt is occurred or not in this particular clock cycle. So this is the end of the part 2 of 8086. So hope you got some valid information. So I think for the examination point of view, the questions what I have listed in the part 1 or part 2 are enough. So are more far enough. So if you're having any doubts, you can just comment me on the comment section. I hope this video has given you a valuable information. If you feel my content is good, informative and valuable, you can like, share and subscribe. So wishing you all the very best and meet you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.
Right there on top of the moon, we could sit and do